Okay.
And we want to
I got to figure out a way how I can not just look at myself here. So, okay. Okay, so any other questions?
So can you suggest us your formula of being actually absorbed in Krishna while doing our day by day? What is?
Oh yeah, I've got a good idea.
If you go into the sadhana.
Yeah, Gunavatar asked, can you give us some suggestions, I guess, from your personal life, how we can be absorbed? Prabhupada once wrote me a letter, and he told me something which I never forgot. I mean, a lot of things I never forgot, but that really, I think, is the key. Prabhupada once wrote to me and said, the secret of keeping the devotees enthused is to always give them a fresh challenge. In other words, it's like, for example, in a game, if let's say you go to play basketball, which is, as we know, is a Vaishnav sport. So let's say if you're playing, let's say you're by yourself, just sort of shooting the ball. It's like, okay, but you don't get really excited about it. But if someone comes and challenges you, like, okay, let's do a game, then you really, you may have thought you were tired, but suddenly you're not tired. Especially if you have that competitive instinct, which somehow I was born with. So as soon as there's a challenge, and for example, in 1976, in January, I flew to Los Angeles to see Prabhupada, and Tamal Krishna Goswami also went there. And of course, we were like brothers. And in 1975, in the December marathon, for the first time in history, someone beat the Radha Damodar party, and it was my Latin American zone. And Tamal Krishna was actually a much better Sankirtan organizer than me, but he had 90 brahmacharis, and I had half of the Western Hemisphere. So I mean, I had a big advantage, but still. And it's funny because he was calling me on the phone, because as my Latin American zone, which was a new zone, we just printed these books. As it started to pull ahead, Tamal, he would call me on the phone and say, "You're not going to win. We're going to win. There's no way you can beat us." And it was funny. It was a competition. But then after this competition that somehow Latin America won, I flew to Los Angeles, and Tamal went there, and we were just walking with Prabhupada. And of course, we were like, we were brothers, and so Prabhupada, it was so funny. Prabhupada, in his own way, the way Indian English, Prabhupada basically said to Tamal, "Are you going to take that? Are you going to let him beat you like that? What are you going to do now?" Prabhupada, I think his exact words were, "So, no one could defeat Radha Damodar, but now Nanda Goswami, his zone has defeated you. So now what will you do?" And it was, we were all laughing. It was all in really good fun. And Prabhupada was laughing. And then he stopped. When Prabhupada wanted to make a really serious point, he would stop his walk and he would put his cane down and he would, really make the point. And so Prabhupada stopped, and then I'll never forget this. He said, "I like this competition. I like this competition." And so that competition, again, in Krishna consciousness, with positive relationships, but you in your life, you have to have something that really inspires you. You have to have some spiritual goal that inspires you, because otherwise you just wake up every day and, try to chant if you can, and you do whatever you do, and that's not, really exciting. And so we have to have goals in life. Prabhupada said the secret of keeping devotees enthused is to always give them a fresh challenge. And so, we have to figure something out in our life. Okay, I'm trying to do this for Prabhupada, and it inspires me. I don't know if I can do it. If you take something too easy, like, okay, my goal is that this week, every day when I wake up, I'm going to brush my teeth. That's not real hard to do. Or I'm going to try to say the word Krishna at least once every day. In other words, if you give yourself a goal, which is too easy, it's like exercising. You go to a gym. If the exercise is too easy, you'll never become strong. And of course, there's the other extreme. If the exercise is too difficult, you will hurt yourself. And so if we give ourselves unrealistic goals that are just too much, it's like trying to lift too much weight. You can actually hurt yourself. And so the secret of life is to have a good workout. Choose for yourself a goal, which is a service goal, which is not too easy and not too difficult, but that really inspires you. And I have to do this for Krishna. Choose for yourself a goal like that. And then you'll be inspired. It's interesting. I watched this lecture by a psychologist at Stanford University. It was a TED Talk, and not all TED Talks are bad. And so, some of them are good. And so this was very interesting. It was, a nice lady, a young lady who was a psychology professor at Stanford, which means, she's smart. And she was saying that up until a certain time, psychology always thought that happiness means to reduce anxiety. That the more you reduce your anxiety, like you get the house you want, you get the car you want, you get the relationship you want, the more you reduce your anxiety, the happier you are. But then their studies showed that's actually not true. What you really need to be happy, of course, you need to eat, you need to sleep, you need friendship and all. There's certain basic needs we have. But let's say just your basic needs are satisfied. What you really need to be happy is a purpose in life. And they found that people who are a little bit stressed, not totally overstressed, but who have stress in their life, but who are inspired by some goal, some purpose, they are much happier. They're much happier than people who have lower stress levels but have no purpose in life. And so a while ago I was in Florida, and a friend of mine in Florida told me, and Florida is just like retirement heaven. If you're pious and lead a good life, then when you retire, you go to Florida. In the sense that, these beautiful neighborhoods with perfect lawns and gardens and all facilities, it's probably the most developed retirement industry in the world. And yet, Florida has the highest level of people using antidepressants. In other words, it's one of the states in America where people are most depressed. And why? Because they have no purpose. If the purpose of your life is to go, tell the same old stupid jokes with your friends and play golf, or just, I don't know, what else, do some kind of old person dance like the hokey pokey. If that's the purpose of your life, then you're probably going to need to take some pill for your depression. And so Prabhupada said that. It's interesting because, psychology discovered it recently. Prabhupada knew it all the time. He said, the secret for keeping devotees enthused is give them always a fresh challenge. In other words, if you've already accomplished some goal, take a little while, do your victory lap, and, kind of savor your accomplishment. And that's good for about 72 hours. And then you have to get back to work. What's your goal now? So people say to me, for example, oh, you don't have to try so hard to develop these programs because you've done so much service for Prabhupada. But it's like, what would I do with my life? The only thing that gives meaning to my life is not sitting around remembering when I used to do service for Prabhupada. Yeah, that's good for about 5 minutes. But the only purpose in my life, the only meaning is that I have a new goal. Prabhupada said a fresh goal, fresh challenge. So that's the answer to the question. If you don't have an inspiring challenge in your life, you need to get one. It's like if you don't have drinking water, you need to get drinking water. And if you don't have an inspiring challenge in your life, you really need to get one. Because you will not be happy. unless you have some goal in your Krishna consciousness that inspires you. It's difficult, but it's not too difficult. It's not too easy. It inspires you. When you get up in the morning, you're thinking, I have to work to achieve that goal. That's where it comes from. So, any other question?
Someone has got a question, Father?
Yes.
One more question?
Yes, last question, and then you can pay me.
Can you see us? Yes, now you can see. One question. Yes.
Yes. Yes, please.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can you please elaborate how to work for Krishna in ordinary work, which is not directly working in the temple or working for the devotees, like regular work?
Right. Very good question. The question was, how do we work for Krishna when we have some ordinary job? It's not directly service to Krishna. Well, give an example. Like give an example of that from your own life, perhaps. Oops. Can you hear me? Oh, your microphone is turned off. So, oh, there we go.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from my own life, I work with disabled, mentally disabled people.
Right.
And from one end, it's not easy to try and give them Krishna because it seems that they are not in the mental platform. But from the other, try to give spiritual benefits.
Right. Okay. So the devotee said that he works in helping mentally disabled people, and I would say first of all, we should begin by really fixing our mind on the reality of the situation, because in that situation where you're doing work, you have to see where you really are. And where you really are, you're in a place where there are many souls, and they're all part of Krishna, and Krishna's in their heart. And Krishna cares about all his children. So, I mean, the fact it's Krishna in the heart of souls, Krishna inspires people in every country to create programs for mental health or to help people who are mentally disabled. I mean, we can look at different times and places in history where if someone was mentally disabled, they would just throw them in the ocean or, just get rid of them because, we don't need you, you're not helping. And so it's like in a sports team. If someone can't play, they're off the team. And so the fact that there is a program for these people, that a society is willing to do that, it's because of Krishna in the heart. It's because Krishna cares about all these souls. So I would say the first thing is to really practice seeing all those people as spirit souls, seeing that within their heart there is a pure soul, and Krishna is also present in the heart. And if you fix your mind on that, if you just practice remembering that these are souls, and Krishna's in their heart, then whatever you do for their comfort, whatever you do to help them, you can offer to Krishna in their heart. You can remember that Krishna's in their heart and say, my dear Lord Krishna, this soul belongs to you. This is one of your eternal children. And even though this service I'm offering is not directly connecting them with you, still, you care about these souls, and therefore I care about them because you care about them. So please accept this little service I'm doing, which is trying to bring some comfort to one of your children. And so even though it's not direct spiritual service, but that can be your meditation. And you will become a pure devotee. For example, someone in my family, a close relative, was in a care facility, and I used to go visit this relative, and there was a big piano, grand piano, in the big room where they would sit during the day, and so I would play the piano, and I would just sort of like play music that the old people liked, boogie woogie, blues and everything, and they really liked it. These were people who were suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's, but they really enjoyed it, and I was, even though I am a Hare Krishna cult member, I was actually happy to do it for them. So I think that's the idea. First, you have to see who they are and that Krishna is in their heart. So, Toda Rabba.
Thank you so much for your precious time.
I really love the Harish Yatra. I mean, it really, somehow, all these health things, but where's Taruni? Oh, I'm not supposed to say that. Sorry, I didn't say that. I get in trouble if I say that. Okay, never mind. Forget I said that. So, anyway, yeah, it's one of my favorite places in the world is to be with the devotees in Harish. And so I hope before too long I will be in Kesaria and then coming to visit you.
Maharaj, it takes 5 hours travel by plane to come to Israel. It's nothing.
You're right. Okay, we will make a plan. I just have to go take care of some medical things, and then. But really, I mean, there's no place in the world I'm happier than with all of you. So yeah, we'll make a plan.
Yes. Thank you so much for spending our time, for enlightening us, and we hope to continue this fall.
Yes, Laila Tov. Hare Krishna. So, to everyone on Facebook, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate that you take your time to watch, and I hope something came out which was useful. And I hope to see you all very soon. Hare Krishna.